Pour the cup. Let's talk health.
Right here at the table where the good talk start. We're feeding your mind and strengthening your heart. From doctors to wellness and the choices we make. Giving you the knowledge everybody should take. Hey. Your healthy Java. Bringing you the info you need to get healthy. Stay healthy. And make your life strong and healthy. Your healthy Java. Health in every cup. Mind and body conversations that lift the whole community up. Stay healthy.
Pour the cup. Let's talk health.
Right here at the table where the good talk start. We're feeding your mind and strengthening your heart. From doctors to wellness and the choices we make.
Yeah. Yeah. It's percolating.
Good morning. Yeah. Good morning to the people on Facebook. Good morning to the people on IG. Good morning to the people on the YouTube. Good morning to the people on LinkedIn and Twitter too.
Java,
Percolating.
get a vibe, stay ready.
Truth in the cup, keep it strong, keep it steady.
Pull up a chair, yeah. Take a sip with me.
Good morning, good people. Java with Jimmy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, the love percolating.
Percolating.
Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, the love.
Percolating.
Yeah.
Java with Jimmy. Good morning. Percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Java with Jimmy.
Percolating.
Yeah, we in it.
Yeah, we in it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Java with Jimmy.
Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, May 6, 2026. And you are, let me get a little centered for Instagram since they automatically crop us right in the middle. Hopefully that's a better shot. There's a little more of me these past couple of months. So let me try to squeeze over there or just do this real quick. Let me see if this is going to help. Yeah, that helps a little bit. All right. Good morning, everybody. Again, welcome to the Java Cafe. Thank you for being here this morning. Listen, we were scheduled to speak with J.L. Smith of the J.L. Smith Suicide Prevention Program. He needs to reschedule. So for those of you that are here specifically to see him, like often some people jump on with a couple of special guests I have. We're still welcoming everybody into the Java Cafe. Do me a favor and hit that like and share button if you have not liked Java with Jimmy across platforms and subscribed on YouTube. Now, let me tell you all the importance of that. I told you yesterday I had a very important meeting, and a part of that meeting was ask about followers, ask about engagement, ask about views. And as I often say, being a social media based platform, those things like likes and shares to content creators and folks like us, oh, those are important. So I appreciate every time that you do like and share and come into the Java Cafe. Listen, there's something we need to discuss today. Um, that it was in the media. It's been in the media for a few months, but the verdict around the Stephon Diggs case came out yesterday. And on one hand, I was like, I'm glad I have a guest today because if something is on my mind, I'm going to discuss it. And I'm going to share with you just a couple of perspectives that verdict. I've seen two different perspectives on social media about it. And so for those of you that don't know, there was an incident with Stephon Diggs, and at the time the news came out, it was just that now he's not convicted. So she had alleged that he choked her, strangulation, took him to court and things like that. And yesterday, the verdict came out and he was found not guilty. Even in some of the testimony that I saw, the demeanor of the young woman that accused him, a lot of people have observed the same thing on social media. Her behavior, I believe, tainted her testimony. So that's kind of a quick overview of what's been in the media around this. The main thing in the media yesterday was that the verdict came out and he was found not guilty. There's two perspectives that came to mind when I heard about this. First of all, I'll start with us as brothers and say that from the brothers that I have had here on this platform, some of which I was with the other evening, and not saying that any of them, the accusations were strangulation. But when it comes to assault of women and accusations, we've seen over the past couple of decades where a lot of men have been vindicated through updated science, through different ability to examine DNA. And there have been cases where women have come back and said, oh, I was going through something. I thought it was him. A lot of, and especially Black men, have been falsely accused of sexual assault. And so my heart to say, and if they're listening, they know where this is coming from. Someone very active in this space was accused and has stood in the innocence of that. And I would not be surprised that some years from now, we come to find out that that person, may have need to, or may need to update us. Let's frame it like that. This is a very touchy subject. And so I am going to say, if anything about it first of all, offends you, my apologies as women. And let's also name it's not just women who are assaulted sexually, physically. Men are as well. And they often don't speak up because of a perception of being soft and your girlfriend's beating you or doing this. And then what man is going to accuse a woman, of a sexual assault? I'll end that part out about the brothers by naming that it is real that brothers have been falsely accused, unequivocally. The other side of this is, and I saw a post from a woman that said that verdict set women back 200 years. There's the other perspective, and I said in a post yesterday that there's a very thin line if we begin to unpack things around this case. While there have been women who have falsely accused men, there are women who don't feel the liberty to report and have reported before, and unfortunately have come under scrutiny from what they were wearing to maybe they had a text exchange and she was flirting a little bit, something like that. And in the system, and sometimes by society, they get ridiculed. And in this particular case, I've seen some women and men name maybe the behavior or the fact that I'll simplify it and say that this was a money grab. One thing I forgot to mention that came out in this case was that Mr. Diggs and this young woman had relations. That's a dynamic that's a part of this. You know, so there's the strangulation piece, but because there was that past relationship, this tone of sexual assault comes back into our conversation. And so those are two perspectives that I would like for us to keep in mind, that we need to be sure that men aren't falsely accused, and also ensure that women feel safe. And men need to feel safe as well. And so, like I said, it's a very thin line. And as much as some don't agree, I try to, especially on situations like this, I try to stay as balanced as possible, because there's a lot, as I said, to unpack. So that's sort of my we need to know today, that we need to allow men to there's a mental health piece here, and I've mentioned this before, because when I was thinking about this, I'm like, I share the 988 number. There's never no reason outside of protecting your life or someone else for anyone to put their hands on anyone. But it's documented in data reports that a lot of men are under pressure and they have outbursts. I'm thinking about a conversation I had with one of the brothers the other night, and the term that the young people use now is crash out. And he said that back in their day and presently, a lot of our men and everybody is on a ledge. You know what I mean? And so I will go ahead and say that if you're a brother and or sister, you feel you need to talk to someone, even active in a situation. Let's say, for example, Mr. Diggs got pissed off, could have took his phone and called 988, which is the number, and was like, yo, and could be like, yo, this woman, you know, man, she still got feelings for me, and I'm about to, you know, if not 988, brothers, somebody. It is never a right situation outside of saving your life and protecting yourself to put your hands on anyone, and men, especially women, and women to men. I'll just say I've seen on media. Have I seen situations in real life? A couple. I've seen situations in real life where women have hauled that hand and slapped the man, and the man is, you know, I'm old school. I'm of the school of thought. A man never puts his hand on a woman in a situation like that. That, you know, family and stuff, that, you know, and still violence is not an issue, but yes, I was in a situation where my older brotherness came out, and I was, so, you know, to close this particular part out, and I'm going to go in the comments, and good God, I'm curious to what's in these comments. In those sort of relationship, domestic type of situations, brothers and sisters, call 988 if you need to speak with someone. And I would say to my sisters and men as well that feel like that they can't report this, I don't know because I'm not a woman, but I know that I'm aware that a lot of women feel triggered by what happened, seeing the verdict, and also some that was contemplating reporting and going through the system are now like, maybe not. So I'm going to venture into the comments. Let's start off slowly on Instagram. Oh, I never hit go live on Instagram. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I need to greet the folks over there. I need to let it catch up. Come on, Instagram. Okay. To the folks on that may be just joining on Instagram, young man with a plan, I owe you all an email. First one that popped on this morning. And I would love to hear your perspective about this subject. Coming in late on Instagram, but we're talking about the verdict of the Stefan Diggs situation and how men have been falsely accused, as well as women may not feel safe now coming forward. There's a lot of dynamics in this. So this is what we're talking about. Again, welcome to the folks over on Instagram. I'm so sorry for not clicking go live this morning when I started. And make sure that you all like and follow us on Instagram as well. So I'm going to go into the comments on Facebook first and see the thoughts here. Hold on. First of all, we'll start off with saying good morning. This is my middle sister's first time being the first one on. Good morning, Nakia. Good to see you in the room. Milagro, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Milton, my brother, good morning to you. Thank you, bro. Just appreciate you. Michelle D. Smith, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Gavin Muhammad, good morning to you. Good. I think I saw something or you hit me. I saw a notification. I'll check that out. Good to see you, brother. And brother, please know, I've had to tell this to a few people, even text someone this morning. I've literally become a one-man show of late, and I'm behind with a lot of emails, shows, and stuff. So good to see you in the Java Cafe this morning, sir. Miss Teresa, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning, as always. Latoya, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Sharon Cornelius, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Also, Nicole Campbell, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. And I think I have caught up. Brother D, what's going on, sir? It's Wavy in the Java Cafe this morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Brother D said his ass should be going to jail now. There's, like I said, there's a lot of, there are 4 or 5 sort of perspectives that I've seen, around this. Caller, good morning to you all the way from Mexico, I think. Good, somewhere, not in the United States. Good morning to you wherever you're from, with wonderful sun and water, all that good stuff. That verdict yesterday has resurfaced a lot of conversation from Me Too to, again, Black men being falsely accused, wrongfully convicted, women coming forward years later. There's also the notion of the fact that some men are physically and sexually abused. Yes, that's a real thing, folks. That's a real thing. First thing that comes to mind is when our Bishop Kenneth Moles Jr. was on, and he talked about how the older women in church took advantage of him. So it does happen. There's Brothers D perspective that, and there's a few brothers out there that are like, yeah, maybe. And there's also the part of the conversation, does your celebrity and your notoriety play into verdict? Mr. Diggs was judged by a presumably jury of his peers. Now, Dedham Courthouse, within the vicinity of Patriots Nation. I'm just sharing various perspectives that have crossed my mind, and about a good 75% of them I've also observed on social media since during peeking in on the trial here and there and testimonies, as well as since the verdict came out. And so it, he said, thank you for the clarity, Brother D. I gave a whole dissertation. He said, and I'm not making light, but he gave the clarity. I gave a whole dissertation. And there's that perspective. There is that perspective too from brothers and a lot of sisters that I saw that, like, and from the sisters, the perspective is like, sis, if this wasn't real, to the post that I saw that you've set, and especially what's going on nationally, the way things are being set up for the requirement to register to vote, that you have to have your birth certificate. Many women are now married, may not have their original name changed and things like that. That is limiting our women. Then this climate is setting up for probably more incidents of women to be abused in various ways, sexually, physically, financially. And so there's the perspective of, there's a perception that this young woman was not genuine, and it sets back women that have genuinely, horribly been abused, assaulted, And if they report it, they now wonder if they're going to be ridiculed, if they're going to be seen through the lens of how this woman was perceived. And so, Brother D, there was that, even though I misunderstood you, there's a perspective of that, but there's a perspective to your clarity as well. And not just from brothers, but from some sisters as well. And I think in a perspective of, and this is nothing that I'm saying is a judgment on either side or either way. These are perspectives that are in our community. And I hope to just get us to two things. One, everybody needs to feel safe and also understand that if you were at that point of pressure, there are resources out there for you. You don't have a pastor, a brother, a sister, a cousin, an auntie, somebody you can talk to, call 988. It's a suicide prevention line. I'll be real about that. But I've asked people that run and work with that line, can you just call to get it out? And yes, you can. And I'll be fully transparent. Y'all know the last couple of years have been hard on a brother. Did I pick up the phone? I think I did pick up the phone. And I was about to call one day because I knew I had to get it out. I resolved it in another manner. But everybody doesn't have that quick thought of tools. And I would encourage you, and do it now. Pressure of the world, things that are going on. Don't be in a situation where you put yourself and someone else in a crisis that can change the trajectory of your life forever. So I don't know why I'm here this morning, but I know why I'm here, because this is in the media. And I seen this and had these thoughts. So, all right, let's pop back over into the Instagram section and check in. Diella, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. I'm sure you have, as a provider, some perspective on this as well. We see Young Man with the Plan is still in the room as well, who will be speaking with us soon here in the Java Cafe. And she should, for what she put him through. Now, this is my mom, so I'm going to say this. My mother is an avid Patriots fan. My mother's a woman. Full transparency, my mother has dealt with we've experienced growing up, my mother dealing with domestic violence. And there's that perspective from a woman and an elder, so it is, again, no judgment call on her allegation. But when I saw the clip about the revealing of the past sexual interactions between them, I was kind of like, oh, shoot, this changes a lot of the dynamics. You know what I mean? So, all right. Miss Teresa said, it's very sad to see those who claim false assaults taint the credibility of actual, and that, Miss T, is that is the thing that is concerning. I'm concerned about our brothers, but data shows and women tend to be more on the side, on the end of being abused. And in this climate, not just with what we're seeing play out with Reggie. Oh, Reggie. Reggie, I promise I'm going to be good. Hi, Reggie. Reginald. Good to see you in the room, brother. For those of you that are wondering, Brother Reggie Santos is the brother of our brother Benny. We have been asking for you all to pray for the Santos family. Also, my Winston side of the family that's very close to Santos says our family. And so, Reggie, we're strength your way in the moments of thinking of the good times and the laughs, joy your way, brother. We love you, dude. Your son was on here yesterday and messed me up. And so, brother, we love you. And I told you, to let me know if we can be helpful. So we love you, dude. Appreciate you. That's the brother Reginald's my forever deacon. And that's just something that he and I have. Caller shares with us, James, there are always outliners for those who make false allegations, yes, but we know that the vast majority of accusations are true. These are the facts I think needs to be stated clearly and loudly. Most accusations are proven true. Center for Prosecutor Integrity. And without seeing that comment, caller, I didn't say it as eloquently as you did, but that's I said the data. That's the thing that is stirring around, in my mind. And I often say that, you all see 6 years of being on screen. Everything before that informs that. I used to work in human services. I've experienced domestic violence. I've in members of my family and whatnot. A couple of my exes, verbally and one attempted physical, but that got shut down very quickly. So, to caller's point, out of all that I just named, my experience before this show, I would what caller mentioned, I know. And so it is and Brother Los, I didn't say a name, but I was like, if Brother Los is watching, I'm talking about this allegation thing, brother. And Carlos has been open about it. He went through the system and his and from day, and I never talked about this, and I'm not going to go too deep, but there's a perspective that he has that is and by him falsely, accused, no matter what the system says, and so there's as Carlos said, the dynamics, and like I said, there are a lot of thin lines in unpacking a lot with this at the root of it. And Carlos, I've been saying this, that men get abused physically, sexually, and often don't feel, and we've talked about this, Los, on the show, they can't report it. And then there's a perspective of, to Carlos' point, that, will this cause underreporting, for women that's on the majority of the receiving side of this? So it's I got a little twitch over my left eye. So this is definitely, a lot that we have to talk about. I need to name 2 people that move in this space, and I thought about them this morning, is Brother DL Daniel Laurent and also Shakira Robertson, who both, Daniel from his perspective as a man, Shakira from her perspective as a victim, of it. And so I'll need to reach out to them and have them back on to cover this subject, because it is a lot. Carlos here, and it's funny because I didn't want to put words in your mouth, but I was going to say, and Carlos in his work, will affirm that, but he's doing it right here. Women and children primarily, all the time. The entire issue needs addressing, not men versus women. And this is just evident of growth, progress, evolution, and shadow work and self work. You know what I mean? And a lot of us. So to Carlos's point, he's influencing me right now that it's not a men versus women in addressing it. We understand that women and children are the greatest on the victim side. And so I'm going to have Carlos come back as well. Miss Teresa is sharing, a survivor of sexual assault. So again, I'm going to say, you all, that it is the morning, and this is a subject that for many can be triggering. This is a subject that for many just may not feel comfortable participating or listening. Please, and I know you take the liberty and have it too, but I always do this when this subject comes up, to exit if you need to. And be better. And again, the one resource I have right now is, if you need to talk to someone about this, call 988. If you were in a situation and you're contemplating how to handle it and you don't feel safe, the best thing you can do is call 911. Okay. Miss Teresa is sharing, as a survivor of sexual assault, you are put through the ringer just to get a claim filed and have law enforcement bring a case to trial. When the account is so true, when things are fabricated, it sets us way back. And that is the part. Carlos is sharing that men need to lead on the issue, but if we're going to act like if we're going to act like lies don't exist, it's nonsensical. And that is so, Carlos, that is what that post I put up yesterday, that the thin line, between truth, equity when it comes to the system, in reference to a lot of Black men being falsely accused, and then equity for women in the system, to Miss Teresa's point, of women and men who, and there's an added pressure or weight of men reporting sexual assault on two folds. In this society that sometimes can express perspectives from a masculine standpoint that can potentially be toxic, a man asserting that a woman, sexually assaulted him is like, really? Bruh, you okay? And then there's that other perspective that if a man is sexually assaulted and it's not a woman and it's a man, do they report it? This is very, very after dark. And only because it's just, well, maybe it's not. I know Carlos is going to hit me later and talk about the fact of me processing in real time. But this, we're here for a reason. Brother JL needed to reschedule, praying for whatever circumstances. But so I got Carlos's last point. Michelle D. Smith says, protect yourself, protect your inner peace. Self-care, love always is priority number one. Carlos said that racism is a white people's issue that affects non-whites. It's DV. It adds DV to men, in my opinion. And we value it here and request it and solicit it. So thank you. Ain't no equity except when we make. Nature doesn't promise equity. There ain't no equity except what we make. Nature doesn't promise equity. Sir. Carlos is also saying the sexual assault number for children is almost identical for boys and girls, to my point. And this is a piece that I've been bringing before the Black Men and Boys Commission. I brought it to the mayor. I brought it to the violence prevention people. I brought it to, did I say the health commission? The demonstration, especially for boys, but for girls. So to Carlos's point, not men versus women, boys versus girls. We can appreciate the data, but in our advocacy and discussion, let's try to keep it gender neutral, if you will. So to Carlos's point, the demonstration often of this doesn't happen 3 years, 5 years out. It happened 10 years out. It happens when the child is 3 or 4, block it out, 13, 14 years old, song, smell, something triggers. And then now you're wondering why they don't want to go to school or they become hyperly sexually active. So this is a whole nother subject in itself. Okay. Karen Cornelius is saying, thank you, Lord. I'm delivered from the trigger of abuse. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, Asia. Good to see you in the room. Jumped in on a very intense subject this morning. I do want to go over to Instagram to see if Young Man with the Plan or anyone, or Amanda Shea jumped on and I'm sure in her work can speak to this subject. We will be having Amanda Shea on Java with Jimmy after dark very soon. But Asia, good morning to you. Miss Teresa says, my heart goes out to the men and women who are falsely accused because the toll these claims take on one's mind, spirit, and character is irreparable. My one pushback there is I can attest to one person that has recovered and has been a champion of addressing this. If you play close attention, you have an idea of exactly who they are. So, but I hear your point, Miss Teresa. And it's 10:36. We're going to get ready to wrap up. Again, what The synopsis that I would like for us to walk away with is that we have to acknowledge the data that states that children and women are the number one victims of, I believe Carlos's stat was sexual assault. We have to, in our advocacy, advocate for women and children with the understanding that there are false accusations on both sides. An alleged victim, an alleged, I don't use this word often, perpetrator. Our focal point, Carlos, help me with this. Our focal point should be, one, creating safe places for everybody. Two, understanding that the system in which these, if you report it, the system in which the law plays out is a issue, and society on all ends is an issue, especially for the victims and especially for alleged those that are accused. And so this topic is not going to go away, because when I mentioned the national climate, not only in what they're doing by policy, but and I talked to someone that same business person, we were just talking about the economy and being an entrepreneur. And then we talked about me and the platform and my goals and mission. And then this subject came up, and they're in the financial, in it, entrepreneur, investor, capital venture. That's the word, Carlos, I was trying to think of the other day, capital venture. And we got to talking about the impact of these policies. I have not heard anyone say yet that we have plateaued on the impact. Most of those in government, most of those in services, most of those that are living it I've heard them convey that we have not seen the worst yet. And so that impact we know when poverty hits, when people are dealing with stress and mental health issues and stuff, incidents, maybe not reporting, incidents go up. So again, feeling any type of stress or pressure, reach out and talk with someone. If there's no one that you, not that they're not available, let's keep that 100. There's a lot of available people that will listen. We have to have some level of trust to be vulnerable and open up. So that's it for me today. Miss Teresa said, yes, you can only recover and live productively, but as you and Carlos mentioned, you never forget or can erase the memory. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just kind of remembered one of our, because this is a topic that we've talked about on After Dark a couple of times with men, dealing with men and mental health. So I can't, we got to end on real, not taking away from what we discuss. But as a host, I can't send y'all out of here heavy like this. So we're going to have to figure something out. In the transition, though, I do want to remind you, and I want to reach out to Shakira. Can somebody tag Shakira Robertson? And I'll ask her to have a table at the health fair. Next Saturday on May 16th from 11 to 3 p.m., we'll come back together for the 5th year, celebrating bringing the community the information it needs to get and stay healthy. We're having the Java with Jimmy, Your Healthy Java, 5th Joseph R. Betancourt Health Fair, again, next Saturday, May 16th from 11 to 3 p.m., where you can come and enjoy a Saturday afternoon of free health and wellness. one-on-one conversations, community health education. There will be some raffles, maybe a couple of door prizes, live DJ, and we will have some refreshments there for you. I wanted to remind you that pre-registration closes tomorrow on May 7th, 2026. And so we still have some slots available for those that want to get in on the first 100 pre-registered, first 50 that show up, automatically entered into a raffle drawing for $100. Also, everyone over 18 that comes that is either pre-registered or registers and goes and gets their health passport filled out, you get a raffle ticket, and 5 times between 11 and 3 p.m., we are going to draw a raffle ticket 5 times for $1,000 in cash. This ain't no lie. We did it last year. It's documented. There's video footage. And so we are making that happen for our community. The information is the priority. The incentive is the push to you come and get this priority of health information. So, all right, folks, thank you for being here today. We're going to do one more sweep of comments and also get ready to wrap up here. Ms. Teresa said, assault of any kind is much like grief. It rears its ugly head when you least expect it. Absolutely. All right, folks, I'm going to get off of here, and we'll see you here at this time. We'll see you on, I think I want to take the day off Monday. Yeah, I need to give myself one day to get ready for the health fair. So we'll be back here. Well, I need to promote the health fair all next week. We'll see you Monday at 10 a.m. However, prior to that, please plan to join us tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. My hope is that all the tech works and we will be live here just on James W. Hills. Maybe I'll add Java just as a backup for our conversation for GBH Amplifies. Tomorrow we are talking about healthy hustling for our hood. We're going to speak with Joseph Bennett. We're going to speak with Jamal Wernham, and we're also going to speak with Conan Harris, 3 brothers that hustle for our hood hard. Okay. All right, folks, that's it for us. We will see you tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Make sure that if you have not registered, register for the health fair. Spread the word. Post the flyer on your page. Add the link to your post. We are sharing information. We're giving out $5,000. So much negativity being shared. Let's share something positive with some good news. We'll see you on tomorrow.